Welcome to Trail Manners, the podcast so dedicated to mountain trails and running that they broadcast out of a 78 Volkswagen bus in the mountains. Who does that? Eric and Joel are your hosts and will bring you the trail life as you may have not heard it before. You hear about everything from gear reviews, nutrition to keep you upright and moving forward, and they'll even bring guests into the bus for conversations that you won't hear anywhere else. It's time for some running adventures on a higher elevation. The old 78 Volkswagen bus is fired up and headed to the mountains. Here are your hosts for Trail Manners, proudly representing the 801 with their passion and love for the trails, Eric Manning and Joel Hatch.
Welcome to the Trail Manners Podcast, another special edition from the Outdoor Retailer Show. This time we're going to be talking with Hayden Hawks, fresh off his whirlwind month of nationals, SpeedGoat, Jupiter Peak, you name it, head to Bulgaria. So if this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The Trail Manners Podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at trailmanners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Trail Manners. All links are in the show notes. Now let's get after it. All right, welcome back to the Trail Manners Podcast. We are still at Outdoor Retailer Show.
Holy cow.
Loving life,
yes.
Living life. Found a nice little spot here in the sun with
we did.
Some windows to make us heat right up.
It's lunchtime. It's busy.
It's busy. So Joel's with us, as always.
Yep.
And we have got, I can't say special guest.
No, you're not
right?
allowed to.
So how about a rock star guest right now? Because it's hot right now, right?
Yeah, and he's hot.
He's hot. So our guest today is Hayden Hawks. Hayden, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be here. So excited to be here at the Outdoor Retail. It's nice.
Nice.
So fun, huh?
So we had Brian Tolbert on a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
right.
Power stash.
Power stash. Hayden's rocking a sweet
Hayden's
stash
working
too.
it.
It is sweet.
Yeah.
Right?
I think we need to give him another 6 months, and then he can get to that power stash level.
Right.
I think so. Have you run that by your wife yet?
Yeah. So I used to have actually a power stash, I'd say, and then I shaved it, so I'm just growing it back now.
Oh yeah.
And so
I like you getting a little Fu Manchu on the side too. I'm liking that.
Yeah.
I think you can rock that. Get it like down to here. That look good, man.
People have been trying to get me to wax it, so I don't know if I should or not. I think I'm just gonna let it grow out, man.
That's the next sponsor
what
level.
What you could do is
right?
like 307 Beards has that little oil. We gotta get you talking to Ty Drainey and get you hooked up with those guys.
All right, sounds good.
So those of you that don't know Hayden, he just came off and he's got his shirt on. SpeedGoat mountain race. He just won the SpeedGoat 50K.
Yeah.
Signed up, maybe 12 hours before race start. Something
barely.
close to that, right? And he just got signed with HOKA.
Yep.
Just within the last week, 2 weeks, less than that maybe.
Yeah, but last week. So.
Well, you're new to the trail scene in a lot of people's eyes. I mean, you ran cross country at Southern Utah University, All-American down there. You ran in high school, right? Mm-hmm. So briefly, because you got a lot going on and we got a lot to cover. I mean, you're just
crazy sauce.
You're lighting up everywhere. Give us a little background. I mean, you grew up in Southern Utah. Kind of, how'd you get into running? College, high school? How's that work for you?
Yeah, for sure. So I started as a sophomore in high school down in St. George, Utah. That's where I grew up. So I started going out. Like I was a baseball player. That's like what I love to do was play baseball.
Yeah.
And I got cut from the baseball team my freshman year. So this was like, man, I was so devastated.
Right.
And so I went out to cross country because I was like, hey, maybe I should do this.
Yeah.
I had some coaches that they encouraged me to do it because I was smaller, and that's one of the reasons I got cut because I was too small
for baseball.
Yeah, that's what they said. And so I went out and did cross country, and I'm really competitive.
Right.
So I went out there and was just like hammering it with the top guys.
Right.
And I would die like every single day.
You had a little angst, didn't you?
Yeah.
You had
I'd
to take
just be
that
like
out.
barfing all over everywhere because I was hurt so bad. And then but I had these goals that I was gonna try to be the best that I could be and
right.
break the school records, win a state championship, and by the end I did, and
right
I got a scholarship to SUU.
Yeah.
Ran there for 5 years at SUU.
Okay. What'd you study?
So I was an exercise science major.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Awesome, man. And I did a lot of business courses as well. And I got I got all my prereqs done for medical school.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of
really smart man.
Yeah, that was kind of my goal, was to go to medical school. But then all this happened, and
you
I'm
wouldn't mess that up, did
with
you?
this. So
You blew it.
Yeah, right on.
So you also coach, right? Don't you coach high school?
Yeah. So I coach over down at Desert Hills High School down in St. George, Utah. They're a really, really good program. One of the top programs in the nation, actually. They almost qualified for Nike Nationals. I think they were the first team out last year for Nike Nationals. So
that's pretty cool.
I enjoy doing that, helping the kids out, sharing my, just my successes and trying to help them.
So when you were running in high school and in college, did you guys do a bunch of trail running? Did you use those as kind of like long run days? How'd you get into trail running?
I did, personally.
Okay.
I grew up in St. George, like Zion National Park's our backyard.
Yeah, right. And there's some decent running there. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right, I guess.
It's okay.
Good stuff. And I just go out there and I'd hit the trails as much as I possibly could. I just loved being out there.
Okay.
I loved running for what it was, and I just kind of loved being out there by myself and just, trying to thrash the trails as much as I possibly could.
Solving all your problems while you're out running?
Exactly. Yeah. And then in college I did the same thing.
Okay.
And I was really, really bad at hills. Actually, coming into college. Really bad at hills.
But he won SpeedGoat.
Yeah.
How's that work?
First to the top.
Yeah. So I made the goal that I was going to get the best I could at hills.
Okay.
I knew it was a weakness that I needed to strengthen.
Right.
And so I started running up Cedar Mountain, at least
tell us
once
about
or twice.
that. What's that mean?
So Cedar Mountain in Cedar City, it's so we're at about 6,000 feet.
Right.
The top of Cedar Mountain's like 10.5 maybe, close to that.
Wow.
And it's within like 4 to 5 miles.
Oh, wow.
So you're climbing like almost 4,500 feet.
Right.
In about 4 to 5 miles
so about
or
1,000 feet a mile.
Yeah, that's pretty stout.
Yeah.
So I just go do that once or twice a week so I was like, hey, this is what's going to get me better at hills, I guess.
Obviously it worked.
I think so. That's a good training program.
Yeah.
So, recently Trail Runner Magazine had an article, online article
There's
after
an online,
SpeedGoat.
Yeah,
it's like, where did he come from?
Right. Who is
like,
Hayden
who
Hawks?
Is Hayden Hawks?
Yeah. I think the title.
Because, let's face it, those of you who don't know SpeedGoat, it's been touted, obviously, as the toughest 50K in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a lot of Carl Meltzer puts it on. That gives you an idea.
Right.
Me and Joel have run it a few times. It's put us in the dirt,
We
literally.
sworn it off.
Yeah, we have. And so how does that make – did you know the significance or what to expect when you got to that race? Because that's not like your entry-level 50K or not your entry-level trail race for getting into that distance. So is that – okay, let's start here. Was that your first 50K?
Yeah. So my first actual race, I'd ran the distance before.
Right.
Training.
In training and stuff. A while, like in March, I think I ran the distance. And so I hadn't ran that distance or even close to that distance since March.
Okay.
And that was my first 50K race.
So between March 2016 and the SpeedGoat, you've done a couple of trail races in between, right?
No trail races. No.
So how did you qualify then for?
Oh, I guess I did one. Yeah,
okay.
I did one. I did the mountain running championships.
And where was that at?
Out in New Hampshire. That was the week before SpeedGoat.
Now, was that actually on trail or was that road?
It was on half trail and half service road.
Was that all up or was that kind of up, down, varied?
It was all up. It was all
up
up this year, yeah. So the first half was it was pretty flat. It wasn't too uphill. And then all of a sudden, you just shoot straight up the last half of that race.
And you kind of had that experience by doing, Cedar Mountain.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're just like, this is like a normal training run for me.
Yeah,
Except for everybody else is running really fast too.
Yeah.
Right?
I had the goal of making Team USA. That's always been a dream of mine to make the U.S. national team. And so I was like, hey, this might be my best option.
How cool is that, right? You're like, I'm just going to jump into this, and now I'm on Team USA.
Yeah.
So it's pretty rad.
I'm stoked, man.
Yeah, you just said that about Team USA. Me and Joel looked at each other, and I know, for myself, I got goosebumps. I'm a huge U.S. dude. Right?
He is. Eric's a big geek.
Yeah, I'm America, right?
Yeah.
But to hear you say that, that's just cool, right? Because not a lot of people, I don't care what your sport is, team sport, to represent your country in any facet is just got to be just cool, right? And so what was that experience like getting that? Like you said, you set it as a goal. You hit that goal. Has it sunk in?
It hasn't sunk in fully yet. My family were pretty patriotic. My dad was in the Navy and everything. All my grandparents, they all served in the military. And so it's just kind of it's always been just a thing in our house is, we want to represent the country the best that we can. And so to have that opportunity to go out there and represent my country, it's just, It hasn't sunk in. It's amazing. And, I mean, I got my gear last night.
Oh.
I'm here. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's at the house?
Yeah, it's at the
So
house.
your little brother's probably like trying it on,
Exactly. Yeah, he probably stole it all, man.
He's running around it. Check it out,
Yeah,
fellas.
yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
I can't wait to see it. I mean, throw on that USA jersey, you know, and just see what it feels like.
Well,
So you make the team, right?
Yeah.
And when you get to go represent the country?
September 11th.
Where's that?
It's in Bulgaria.
So what's the course like over there? Do you know?
It's about 8 miles.
All right.
Straight up.
Straight up?
Yeah. So
it's just like another Cedar Mountain training run for you,
yeah,
right?
it's
Double.
actually, to be honest with you, the course that I do in Cedar is really similar to the World Championship race.
So
Wow.
it's no biggie for you. Except
Yeah,
for
I
there's
mean-
going to be a bunch of other fast guys
Yeah,
there
right.
that are
Exactly.
speaking different languages.
Oh yeah.
Right
yeah,
on.
yeah.
now, because you talk about like you haven't had time for it to sink in. You know, you're going to Bulgaria. Is it like a team thing? Do you know who else is running for Team USA?
Oh, you all fly over there together?
So we fly over separately, but we do. There's 6 of us on the team,
Right.
so 5 other guys that are just extremely good. I mean, Joe Gray.
Yeah, he's
you
been
know,
around.
He's
fast.
been around. he's fast, and some other guys, you know. And they said that we have the deepest team that there's ever been
Wow.
this year, and so our goal is to podium there at Worlds. You know, get top 3.
Yeah.
So, that'd be awesome.
It'd be so cool to see you go over there and do that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I mean, you're like the unknown dude, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You go over there, be like sneaking under the radar, and all of a sudden you crush them.
Yeah.
But it's just like running the SpeedGoat. I got to the top first. What's next?
Well,
right?
'cause, I mean, back to SpeedGoat real quick. I mean, people didn't know who you were yet,
Right.
And so you're doing this first to the peak, and people are like, "This guy's gonna crash.
This guy's
right?
gonna blow up.
He's gonna bonk."
Yeah.
And of course, that never came. You know, for the record. But does that give you? Do you think like how do you embrace that? Does that give you an advantage, kind of being
The unknown.
the unknown,
Right?
the new one on the scene? Because you're like Joe. I mean, everybody knows.
He's been around forever.
Yeah, so people know what to expect. Are you embracing that? Are you like, hey, this could be an advantage? Does it bother you to be that? Or I mean,
No, I mean it motivates me if anything. I'll be honest with you. At SpeedGoat, I made it. I was the first to the top. I think I got close to breaking the record there for the first to the summit at SpeedGoat.
Got a little cash for that.
Yeah.
right?
Well, they didn't do that this year. They actually
they
threw it
didn't?
into they threw that cash into the overall winner.
okay, so you still
I
got
did.
it.
I got
So
the
you got it.
cash,
You got
but I didn't get it for the climb. But anyways, I got to the top, and I could hear people kind of questioning, me getting up there so fast.
Right, because you're unknown.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's this kid out of St. George?
Well,
Does
exactly.
he doesn't know any better.
Exactly. I heard people saying, he's a road guy. He doesn't know any better.
Oh, there you go.
He doesn't know what he's doing. And it motivated me. It really
Yeah.
did. I was like, hey, I'm going to show him.
That's right.
I'm kind of going to show it, And I've always been a really just aggressive racer.
Right.
I've always been the guy to go straight to the front and try to, push my body to the limit. I love taking my body to as far as I possibly can and seeing what I can do.
That genetic potential, right?
That's
Scott
right.
Jaime says it. See what your genetic potential can do.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really the only way to do it. So with that, racing mindset or training mindset, have you had those days where you've done that and it just didn't work out?
Oh, yeah.
Like you just bonked
Just
and
blew
okay,
up.
I'm done.
Oh, yeah, for
But
sure.
you learn from those, right?
Yeah. I mean, the first, I guess, 50K distance that I ran on a training run, I took one goo with me. That was it.
But it
And
only
no
took him
water.
like 2 hours,
right.
probably.
And it was
Right.
like no
And
water.
no water.
And it was about, 80, 90 degrees.
Oh, my
'cause
gosh.
St. George is pretty hot in
Yeah, it
March
is.
still. And
It's hot all
I
the time.
bumped a little bit at the end. I could start feeling it just a little bit. So I
That's insane.
I learned
One
from that
gel,
a
no
little
water,
bit.
Yeah.
50K.
But-
I would just be dead at like mile 7. So we'll go back. You talked about how, Team USA hasn't sunk in, but we had this conversation. Has it had time to sink in? Because right from Nationals in New Hampshire, you came, it was a week later,
Yeah.
and you ran the SpeedGoat.
Right.
And I'm telling you what, since the SpeedGoat, that's been not even a month yet, but a lot. I mean, you've been traveling, you've still been running,
Yeah. Right.
racing, Jupiter Peak.
Yeah, I did Jupiter Peak last
But
weekend.
did you go out to Oregon and run too?
Yeah, so I had to hit a qualifier for Jupiter Peak, so I would qualify for the money at
Okay.
Jupiter Peak.
So you went out
So-
to Oregon,
Yeah, I went out to Oregon.
ran 15. Was
15K.
it 30?
It was the Siskiyou 15K
Oh, yeah.
out there.
In Ashland,
And
right?
so, yeah, I ran that because that was a qualifier.
Okay.
And then
Did you win that?
Yeah, I won that.
There's some cash involved on that one too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah?
A couple
So-
thousand.
So you won SpeedGoat, got some money there.
Uh-huh.
Went out Oregon, got some money there. Went and ran
Jupiter Peak.
Jupiter Peak.
Yeah.
Was there some money there?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there
I
you
like
go.
it.
This is a nice-
You're doing
nice
pretty
ring to
good
it. And then,
for a freshly graduated individual.
yeah, it's great. And when did HOKA come on? When did HOKA contact you in this whole time frame? Because
right after SpeedGoat.
Right after
Yeah.
SpeedGoat.
Yeah. So HOKA puts on SpeedGoat.
Yeah.
You know, that's sponsored by HOKA. And right after, the sales reps came up to me and they're like, "Here, who are you?
Yeah.
You know, like, who is this guy?" And they're like, "We're really, you know, like, we already sent your information into our marketing guy,
Right.
and he'll contact you." And I think he contacted me like 2 days later.
Right.
And so
I was thinking you crossed the finish line, you sat down to have a drink of water, and you looked down, you had Hokas on all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
right.
Quick little
You're like,
NASCAR
how'd that
pit
get there?
stop, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
So how did that feel? I mean, a lot of people don't get that experience, and you've had such a whirlwind so fast, so quick, and all of a sudden Hoka's knocking at your door, and obviously you know who Hoka is,
Yeah.
you know, beforehand. So
Uh-huh.
I mean, stuff like that. How do you feel about stuff like that?
Oh man, it feels amazing. Like that's been my goal. You know, ever since I got into college, it was like I'm gonna pick up a sponsorship after college, and I didn't really realize how hard it was. And then
Yeah.
after college, it was like I didn't really have anybody interested in me, and I was like,
Right.
man, well maybe this won't happen.
But then you step
know,
into
and
the trail world, all of a sudden, boom, that door opens, right?
Yeah, you know, and I didn't necessarily step into the trail world thinking like, oh, it's gonna be easy to get a sponsorship in the trail world. Not at all.
Right.
You know, my thing was I loved trails.
Right.
And I have a deep love for trail running and the sport. And so that's why I jumped into trails. And I just happened to pick up a sponsorship, and
That's
they're
cool.
helping me achieve my dreams, you know?
And that's what's cool, because he said he has a passion or love for trails, and it's worked out for you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what you talked about. I mean, it's nice to hear you say I had goals of, you know, I got cut from a baseball team, I had goals of this, and uphill I was horrible at it, so that's what I went after, and my goal of representing my country. I mean, it's like you're very goal-oriented.
Right.
But, I mean, you're young,
Yeah.
and so you're hitting these goals.
He's got youth on his side still.
Yeah, and so
Right?
so was saying that, you know, you're young, you're hitting all these goals. I'm sure you have other goals. Where is this going to take you in the next, say, 2 to 3 to 5 years? I mean, what's kind of what you'd like to see or hope to do?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sticking to kind of the shorter stuff right now, just trying to learn as much as I possibly
Yeah.
can, you
So,
know.
so what's shorter for you? Like 50K and under?
I'm doing a 50 miler in December.
Oh my
for
gosh.
TNF, but
Yeah.
anything under 50 miles.
So that course. So what do you know about that course?
That's
I know it's runnable.
Super rolly, right?
Yeah.
San Francisco, right?
So-
San Francisco area.
Yeah, it's gonna be fast this year. I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna be stacked.
Stacked,
like,
and then
maybe even more than it has been in the past.
are you gonna
so-
go out and pre-run the course at all, so you're familiar with it? You
Uh,
gonna try to?
maybe. I mean, that's a good idea. I
Yeah,
guess.
right?
Maybe I should.
Hoka need to send him out there. Get him used
I
to
think
it.
that'd be a
There you
good idea, right? I mean, if you want to, you know, continue your streak of just crushing it, yeah, go out and check out the course. Because if I remember correctly, I think that one's like there's a lot of turns and twists, and the sometimes the marking, even if you're running really fast, you might miss that turn.
Mm-hmm.
So go out there, find somebody to take you on the course, and that way, come
Definitely.
race day, you can just put your head down and bury yourself, right?
Yeah. I got some buddies out there, so
There you
maybe
go.
Go visit them.
So you want to stick like the next X amount of years? You want to kind of stick to the shorter stuff? Is there a goal? I mean, do
Short
you want
stuff.
to? Yeah, for you, yeah, short stuff or in general. But I
Yeah.
mean, do you want to stick, kind of keep trying that, representing the USA every year? I mean, what's kind of your long term?
Yeah, at least
or
one
short-term?
team every
Yeah.
year. But you know, whether that's long distance mountain running or short distance mountain running, you know,
Right.
either that. But I do want to like start doing some of these more prestigious races. You know, like I've been the guy I've never backed down from a challenge. I mean, I want to go to races where there's the top dogs in these races. You know,
That's awesome.
hit the European circuit. You know, run
Oh.
against some of these Europeans who are good. You know.
That's a different ball game over there.
Yeah, you know, and so just I really want to do that, you know, and I'm gonna stick around with the short stuff for maybe like I don't know, we'll see, man. I get pretty anxious sometimes, and you know, maybe Western States in a couple of years.
Oh,
I
there you
mean,
go.
That's kind
That's
of
doable.
I think
for
that's
sure.
why
Yeah.
Sage Kennedy did that. He did really good about like just being really patient and just building up and make sure he had that fitness and that foundation. And he was just trying to learn as much as he can. Then he jumped into that long distance stuff, and he did really well.
Yeah.
And same with Max King, same thing. He was just really patient and just built himself up. And look at him.
But now,
Right?
and now you've got the new teammate with Hoka.
Yeah.
Right? You just signed Jim
Yeah.
Got
Walmsley. and
The
he's-
93-mile record holder.
Yeah, I mean, so he jumped into it and has done really well too. So with Hoka, I mean, there's a lot of athletes with Hoka. You know, we know a lot of them. Obviously, Carl's kind of the flagship guy originally. Are you looking to maybe pick some brains on that side of things to kind of get the, you know, some of the things maybe to learn going forward? Or are you just more focused on you can learn as you go? I mean, you going to pick some brains that way?
Well, definitely. I mean, I'm pretty good friends with Magdalena. You know, she's helped me out a lot with stuff. You know, Magda's a sweetheart. She's awesome. I just talked to Jim actually yesterday, and I think I'm going to go down to Flag and maybe do a training session with him.
That'd be cool.
And, you know, just get together as HOKA guys and do a training session. And, you know, so I'm going to pick his brain too, you know, and I'm trying to learn as much as I possibly can. I'm still young.
Yeah.
I'm a student in this sport. You know, I really don't know a lot what's going on with these ultras.
We'll
still.
take more than one gel and one water bottle.
Yeah,
on
that'd be our recommendation.
Yeah, well, I did more at SpeedGoat, and it turned out good. So
a little collapsible cup is what he had.
Yeah.
You took the Ultra Aspire collapsible cup. Yeah.
But, I mean, we got some great people in HOKA, you know, like great athletes. The company is awesome. I mean, I love being sponsored by HOKA. I made a great choice, and they've just done so much for me so far, and it's, you know, I know I can learn a lot from those guys.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, I mean, and I think it would be kind of fun because you and Jim. How old? Do you know how old Jim is? Walmsley?
Jim
I think he's
Walmsley?
like 27, so
Oh,
he's
is he?
a couple years older than me.
Joel was right.
Yeah.
I
I told
was
you
younger.
this
And
morning.
you're-
Eric's like, "Oh, he's 20." I'm like, "No, I think he's
I
older
think you
than
misunderstood. I said 27.
I think Andrew Miller, who won, actually,
Yeah,
he's 20.
He's
There we
20.
go.
Yeah,
That's where I
yeah.
got
That kid's
it.
young.
That's where
Holy
I got
cow.
it from.
Yeah, he's in Flag too, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys
That's a
could-
strong train group down there.
yeah.
Yeah, if you guys-
so-
But you've got Cedar Mountain.
Yeah. I mean, we live in a great area. I mean, we live at about like maybe close to 3,000 feet in St. George.
Yeah.
But I can get up to, you know, 10,000 feet within
Pretty quick.
30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I can get down to like 1,000 feet within 30 to 40 minutes.
Plus,
So,
you
I
got
mean,
the heat too.
Yeah, and the
heat,
heat
yeah.
makes you
heat
strong.
training really does make you strong. As much as we don't like it,
Yeah, it does.
There's something to be said for it.
Yeah, I mean, like a couple days ago, I was out in like 115, 116 degrees training. And, you know, that kind of stuff makes you strong. It really does. I mean, you adapt to it.
It makes me
So-
sick.
Yeah, that's crazy sauce, man.
Yeah.
Well, I like the story though, real quick, of SpeedGoat. So you finished in New Hampshire. You came home, and you weren't registered for SpeedGoat.
Nope.
That wasn't. I mean, walk our listeners through the whole process of you deciding to do it, and then
Okay.
the quick little window that it happened in.
Yeah, for sure. So I, like I said, I qualified for the U.S. the week before, and so I was coming out, and I knew about the vertical K at SpeedGoat, and I was like, hey, maybe that would be a good option. You know, maybe do the vertical K, see if I can get a little recognition. You know, just have some fun. And so I started talking to a guy I know named Bryce Thatcher. He helps coach at Desert Hills with me, and we'd done a couple, you know, runs together. And he had him and a group going out to SpeedGoat. So I was like, hey, you know, maybe I'll go do that vertical K. So I was up just visiting family. I texted Bryce and asked and just told him good luck, because I actually had scratched the vertical K and was like, nah, I'm not doing it. And he texted back and said, you know, I wish you were here. Like, this awesome event. Like, it's really, really cool. And I was like, oh, man, I kind of got stuff, you know, flowing. I was like, I really want to go. And so I went to bed that night. So that was Thursday night. And I woke up Friday morning and started thinking, what? Let's do the 50K. Like,
I don't want to do
I
the
wanna
vertical
do this,
mile
man.
or
Like,
vertical K. Let's do the
It'll be fun. That's what I was thinking. It'll be fun.
It'll be just
And,
the SpeedGoat. That'll be fun.
So I really didn't know a lot. I didn't know a lot about the course. I knew it was hard, but I didn't know it was as hard as I thought. And so I texted Bryce, said, hey, can you get me in? Can you help me out? He talked to Carl. Carl got me in. And I showed up at like 7, 8 o'clock that night, Friday night.
From where? Where were you when you just...
You were down Cedar City?
Yeah, so I was in St. George that morning.
Okay.
And then drove
5 hours up.
4 to 5 hours.
Got up and then visited some family and then came up. And, yeah, I mean, got a couple, you know, just some advice from people about supplementing. Put my pack together, woke up the next morning, and ran the race.
So the reason why I'm chuckling is, like, me and Joe have been doing this for a while. We're nowhere near your level for sure, but, you know, it's like the night before a big race.
Yeah.
Not just a entry level. This is a 50K SpeedGoat, and you're getting advice supplement-wise. I mean, it's not funny in the fact that it's funny. It's just like, wow, that's just, for us, it's like, I got to know way ahead of time. You know, I panic sometimes, you know, what I'm supplementing. So what advice were you given for that?
They were just telling me, like, I think, honestly, like, I think they believed in me, but they didn't believe that I could actually win the race.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they were just kind of telling me, you know, go out there, you know, and try to do the best you can type thing. You know, they kind of gave me a rundown of the course, what the course was like, different spots, and they told me what to take. Like, you know, Magdalena, she's with GU, and so she was just like, she's really smart, chemist and all that, and she just told me, you know, this is what I do, this is what you should do. So I was like, okay. So, I mean, I'll do it.
So we know that you got to the top first, right?
Yeah.
So what did you think of that descent down into the Mary Ellen Gulch with all those baby head rocks?
Oh, man. I twisted my ankle, actually.
Was that brutal?
Yeah, I twisted my ankle in that section. And I twisted my ankle the week before, actually, in New Hampshire. So I think, like, twisting my ankle in New Hampshire, like, actually helped it because it was already, like, so stretched out or something. Loose, it didn't really, like, hurt that bad, but I twisted it. So I kind of got nervous, and I started to slow down just a little bit, going down that rocky section. And Chris Vargo from Nike, he caught me.
At
actually,
that section?
When we got to the mine there.
Right.
Yeah, the aid station.
Rock Horton's aid station there at the turnaround where you flip back around, come up that service road again?
Yeah, so he caught me there. I got into the aid station, and I just was like, I need to go through this aid station as fast as I possibly can.
Right.
And so I had him just fill my water bottle when I was still running.
Yeah.
Grabbed my water bottle and ran out. Didn't do anything because I was like, I got to get out as fast as I can.
Right.
Yeah.
So you run back up that service road, and then you go back up, you know, that double track. So are you running that double track then back up?
Yeah, I ran almost all the way up to the top.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't, and
that's
kind of where
Eric and I are looking at each other, and we know that section's steep.
Me and Joel had some dredges up that thing
thing's
in
a
the past.
grinder.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So at that point it was you and Chris, right?
Right.
And you were running pretty close. So what did your race strategy change at all? Was it like, I just need to stay in front of him, or I'm going to run, and if he passes me but I'm where I want to be, I'll let him go and catch him? I mean, what was your race strategy at that point?
I mean, from the first climb, I felt like maybe, you know, my climbing was my strength, and the downhill maybe I wasn't as strong at because I hadn't done a lot of downhill running.
Right.
So I was like, this is an uphill section. I'm just going to like try to get as much time as I possibly can on this uphill section.
Right.
And hopefully, you know, Chris is an excellent runner. I mean, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's been around. He's got some experience.
Yeah, he's awesome. And so I was like, I don't know if I can gap him.
Right.
But I'm going to try as hard as I possibly can to gap him.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I'm just going to run this whole section and do, you know, go hard.
Yeah.
So I went really hard through that section to try to get time.
And then that's back up to the top or the tunnel.
So you go through the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then you head back.
Well, yeah, you go up Baldy.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I had to walk up Baldy. I mean, that's too steep to do anything. So I got up to the top of Baldy, and then I started, running down. And I actually, right off of Baldy, I got lost. I went on the wrong road. You turn left to go out to the tunnel.
Yeah.
I went straight and started running up the road. And I made it almost like halfway up that road.
Wow.
And then some guy started running, and he's like, hey, you're going the wrong way. Turn around.
Right.
So I had to go back down and then make that left and go to the tunnel.
Right.
That was the second time I got lost. I also got lost like right before Baldy. I took a wrong turn.
Wow.
And, so.
Well, you got back on course because, I mean, so
Yeah.
at any point, like, 'cause I don't know how it all played out. Did you see Chris more? I mean, was he right on your heels? Was it kind of like running?
After I got up to Baldy, I didn't really see him or anybody, you know.
So at that point, you're just focused on what you, in your head, like, this is what I need to do.
Yeah, I didn't really look back a lot. I mean, I was just like, just run.
So what point did you know that you had it in the bag?
So I don't know, man. I was running scared almost the whole race. I really was. You know, I told my wife I was going to bring home the 5K, and so I was like, if I don't bring this home, you know what?
You're on the couch for a while, aren't
exactly, man. And so,
I'm staying in Bulgaria.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was running scared, and maybe when I got to the last aid station,
right?
You know, right up there, Mineral Basin, I think it's called. The last aid station?
Yeah. Well, is it last aid station on the peak?
Yeah, up on the peak. I don't even know. I forgot what it's called. But anyways, that's when I kind of knew I had it.
And that's just from there, it's
like
basically
4 more
downhill.
miles basically downhill, I think,
yeah,
at that point.
Exactly. And I knew, like, hey, man, I just got to run decent on this downhill, and I should have it.
Right on.
So when you cross the finish line, because you didn't know what to expect, but you're competitive.
Yeah.
Your performance overall, time-wise, how you did, I mean, was that like you maxed out? Was it, you know, obviously you're happy, you're proud of what you did, but I mean, do you think at any point in that race or what you did, you didn't push hard enough, right? Because you talk about how hard you pushed, you didn't save anything, you just went gunning.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty spent by the end, you know, being my first 50K race. But I do feel like there's a couple little things in there that I could change and try to get more time. Plus, like I said, I got lost twice, which was about maybe 10 to 15 minutes, actually.
Right.
There was one section where I was lost for almost like 8 minutes.
Wow.
And finally turned around. And so, I mean, I think I could maybe go a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, more training, you know?
Well, I mean, because you got to look at it, too, as like that's just experience now. Not just, like, say, getting lost, but I'm just saying
and
overall
just
it's
knowing
experience.
the course, too,
Yeah,
right? You know
exactly.
the course. So if you came back next year, you have that course knowledge, you'll have a year of experience, year of training, then you can, like, maybe go for the course record.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice.
Right?
You know, I'd love to do that. I mean, Sage, though, he's an amazing athlete.
Oh,
he has
yeah.
a course record. It'd be really hard to beat, but
you're very competitive, though.
And you're younger.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
well,
younger. Come
we'll
on, man.
see, we'll
Youth on your
see,
side.
man.
So did you learn anything, or would you change nutrition-wise, since that's kind of a newer realm for you in this distance stuff? I mean, obviously Bulgaria is not going to be the same, but TNF, okay, 50-miler. Is there things that you found worked for you, didn't work for you, things you would tweak nutrition-wise?
Yeah, I mean, it all worked pretty well for me. I never bonked the whole race.
So are you taking like a gel an hour? What was your strategy?
So,
What'd you use?
yeah, I mean, I was taking a gel every 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then I was also taking like a GU has this salt tablet that they just
Right.
came out with, and I was using that as well.
Is that your first time using those?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I was using those like 1 an hour or so.
Okay.
And then I would do a bottle of water pretty much in between each aid station, you know, and make sure I was just, you know, using that sparingly because I didn't know how far the aid stations were exactly.
Or
So
how
I
long
was
it'd take.
making sure that I had enough water.
Right.
But yeah, that's it. That's all I
Nice.
took.
And you didn't bonk?
I did actually drink 1 glass of Coke on the last aid station.
Oh man.
I ran through that. I don't drink Coke. I don't know why,
it's
but I
money,
haven't.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Just
man.
a little bit. It's
I was-
just awesome, isn't
Dude,
it?
I just looked over and I was like, wow, that looks so good.
Yep.
So I just got it and downed it real quick and then went on. So
It's a miracle worker,
It
especially
is.
late in a race, man.
We say the same thing. We never drink Coke unless it's at a race.
yeah.
And it's just a little bit. And then
Yeah.
you look at it and you're like, that is, so good.
Yeah, and then after the race, I think I ate actually 2 whole pizzas. They had pizzas there, and I ate
Dude,
2
where
whole
you
pizzas.
put that, man?
I
I'm
know.
looking at you. I'm like,
So-
where's that go?
We're sitting here with Hayden. He's not like a 2-hole pizza guy.
No,
if
he's
you
not.
look at me, I'm an easy 2-hole pizza guy, right? But Hayden's like a mini pan.
yeah.
So, I mean, overall, the experience you've had, I mean, it's been a whirlwind. Have you just been enjoying it, soaking it in? I mean, you've earned it. I mean,
Yeah.
let's just get that straight. I mean, you flat out
Straight
earned
up
everything
earned it.
you got. The HOKA, the prize money, USA, Bulgaria, all that stuff you've completely earned. I mean, your family, your wife.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to be super excited and happy for you, right?
Oh, definitely. My wife's a runner. She ran actually in college too,
Oh, wow.
and she started to do trails lately too, and so she's just beyond stoked
So
for
she
me.
gets
and
it
she
on that
gets
level,
it. Yeah, my
yeah.
parents don't necessarily get it fully, but they're starting to come around.
Right
you
on.
know, and so everybody's really stoked. I mean, the community in St. George, they're backing me up behind this whole thing. I mean,
That's cool.
we have a good little running community down there that it's been cool. It's been really cool.
So what's in the future for you for next year? You got anything on your radar for next year
Looking at stuff.
that
For
you
next year.
are absolutely going to do?
Okay, yeah.
Because you know, this is one of the things that I mean, as a sponsored athlete, you might not have this problem, but us regular guys, if there's a big race out there, you got to plan for it now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta,
Me and Joel can't call anybody the night before to get in.
sure, not yet, we can't.
Not
but,
yet.
I mean, like, what are you looking for next year? Anything that you have to do?
Yeah. So I talked yesterday actually with the founder of HOKA,
Mhm.
and I told him I wanted to go out and do CCC.
Ooh, there you
so
go.
that's one of my big ones next
So
year.
what's that distance? That's kind
It's,
of
like a 101K or something,
Yeah,
100K.
so that's
yeah,
Right around
60
100K.
miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, stepping up already, man.
Yeah.
We just had
So-
this conversation. Yeah, I'm going to stay at the
Stay
shorter
good.
stuff.
until next year when I
Until
go to
next year.
Europe and I race the
Yeah.
big one, right?
No, yeah. So and then I'm doing I mean, I'm gonna.
So
I
that's
wanna
in
do some-
August of
Yeah,
2017.
So February I want to do cross country nationals. You know, kind of pull
Okay.
like a little Max King type thing. You
Yeah,
know, go out and
right.
do some cross country as well. I enjoy it. And then I think I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure yet. I'd like to make the U.S. Long distance mountain running team,
Okay.
and I think that's in June.
All right.
And so that's like a marathon distance for trail.
Okay.
So I'd like to do that as well.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't have a.
You can
whole
see what
lot
comes
yet
your way,
of-
right?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just looking at you, and just like the past month, literally, it's like been a month, maybe we'll say month and a half.
Whirlwind,
Yeah,
right?
it is. It's a whirlwind. I mean, you've done some things that are just over the top, legitimate, and it's just happening quick. It's not like 6 months or you trained all last year and you ran the races and all of a sudden you're doing them now. It's like you just bam, I'm in. Hey, look at me. I'm here. I've arrived.
Yep.
Here we go. And you're super humble.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you are.
We
I mean,
can
we're
see his love for the trails.
Yeah.
Which is we wanted to see that, more than anything else.
Because he talks about, representing and goals, but it's not it doesn't come across as like, oh, look at me, I'm, doing this. It's like you're grateful. Like you're talking about HOKA, you're talking about running for the Team USA and your family being military. I mean, you've not just earned it, but you're very humbled by it. It's not like, it doesn't look like it's taken you. I mean, I didn't know you, 2 months ago, but I mean,
you still got the stash, right?
Yeah.
I think that's important, right?
That is. You got to keep, who you are.
There you go. There you go.
So, I mean, we are pumped you came on with us because we've been, I mean, we're huge fanboys of the ultra and trail world, so we like to see stuff. And so when you came out, we were the same way. Like, dude, this dude crushed it. It wasn't like you just came out and you won or you ran it. You crushed it.
Yeah.
Right? Because we know the course. And if you don't know SpeedGoat, Google it. Look at it. It's not
hard.
It's hard. It just is. And to see what you've done, I mean, I'll go back to the USA thing. When you said that got me pumped because that's just cool.
Yeah,
right?
that's way cool.
And again, you're humble, you're young. It seems like you got good head on your shoulders, kind of taking it easy, getting advice from some of the veterans and people that have been around. It's not, and you can see, Chris is such an awesome athlete, Sage. So you respect things that have come before you.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's something me and Joel talk about a lot is that whole dynamic of generations of runners.
Yeah,
And
we were talking to Chrissy Mail about this yesterday.
Yep.
It's like we're on our fourth, maybe almost fifth generation now of ultra and trail runners. And it's so cool to see you guys coming up and still loving it, but out there crushing it too.
Yeah.
That's so exciting to see.
And it's a good, you're a good role model for the kid you're coaching.
Yeah,
it's like I said,
cool.
if that was my weakness, I went after it. I mean, I could say uphill's my weak, and I'm like, I don't even like it. So it's not like, you're goal oriented. You're going after what you want to get, and it's paying off, and that's super, super sweet.
Yeah.
HOKA coming on board. I mean, we talked about this before you came on. That was a smart move by HOKA, right? It really was. And
I hope so.
and, you're going to represent them well.
Yeah.
Super excited to be representing Team USA in Bulgaria. We'd love to catch up with you, after the fact. Maybe come down in the winter when
that'd
it's
be cool.
super cold up here. Catch
We'll
up,
talk to him after his Bulgaria experience,
see how that
right?
experience went. Because we come down to St. George in the wintertime because we're up here in Ogden. And it's cold and snow.
Too darn cold up here in the wintertime.
And so we went, Grafton, what was that?
Oh, Grafton Mesa. I love that.
Yeah.
Have you been on that trail?
Grafton. Yeah, I have. Yeah, is that the Eagle Crag Trail?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it's over there.
yeah.
That thing is way cool.
Oh, it's awesome, man. It's pretty cool run.
Yeah, so we've come down and actually run with Bryce on that. Bryce Thatcher.
Yeah, I'd love to, man. Have you guys come out.
So that'd be fun.
Yeah, we're huge supporters. We're going to give some links to what you've done, what
Yep.
you're going to go forward with. Thanks for taking the time
Yeah,
with
we
us
appreciate it.
today.
We know you're busy.
Yeah, you're a super busy guy, Whirlwind. We feel like, we're kind of rock stars right now, hanging out with you. So thanks again. Good luck. Congratulations. That's super cool. And we'll talk to you again, hopefully not too long in the future.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. I mean, it's definitely a pleasure and it's an honor to be here.
Oh,
so
thank you. I really appreciate it. All right. Well, that's Hayden Hawks from Outdoor Retailer Show, and we'll have some literature and some links on there, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Trail Manners podcast. We'd like to thank Hayden for taking the time to join us and wish him nothing but the best of luck and success in Bulgaria in September, representing the good old US of A. Congratulations again, Hayden. Now go get them. We also want to encourage everybody to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Trail Manners, or swing by our website at trailmanners.com. You can swing by the store page, check out some gear, or hit us up on the contact page. Let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear, or even if you would like to be on our show. So until next time, this is Eric Manning with Joel Hatch reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.